Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode. Today I have a very special interview for you. Really special circumstances. Had my lawyer who helped me get a second citizenship in St Kitts and Nevis, Jennifer Harding here with JH Marlin Law. She's in Portugal, had to have the opportunity to number one, meet up in person and get some information about this citizenship program. So thanks for coming. Coming all the way out to Portugal.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, how are you liking Portugal
It's
so far?
amazing. I've tried surfing. I'm not too good at it, but having fun, so that's good.
Nice. So right off the bat, just to get to know you a little bit, what brought you to explore this St. Kitts? Because you're originally from Canada, and maybe you want to tell me a little about your journey, how you made it there.
So I'm originally from Quebec in Canada, and I grew up in Canada my entire life, and I went to law school at McGill University. And it was when I was in law school I was looking to have international experience at a law firm. And I did some research and discovered St. Kitts and Nevis is one of the best jurisdictions in the world. As well, they had a citizenship by investment program that's been in operation since 1984, and I thought this was a really interesting concept. So I went there to do an internship, fell in love with the island, decided that I wanted to move there, live there, become a citizen, and so that's sort of what started my journey to working in the investment immigration industry.
Nice. So how long have you been helping people get citizenships now?
Our firm has been operating for just over 3 years, so for 3 years now we've been helping people all around the world get citizenship through investment.
So what are some of the benefits of getting a citizenship in St. Kitts, regardless if you're going to, say, renounce your original citizenship? What are just some benefits people can see from, why would someone want to choose St. Kitts?
So there's family, business, personal freedom advantages. So with a St. Kitts and Nevis passport, you can travel visa-free to over 140 countries, including the EU Schengen area, the UK, Switzerland, Russia. As a Canadian, I have both Canadian and St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship, and I don't have visa-free to Russia with my Canadian passport, but I do with St. Kitts, so there's lots of visa-free opportunities, and visa-free countries are regularly added to the list of countries. It's also for business advantages. Some people want the passport to be able to travel on, as well as St. Kitts and Nevis is a tax-friendly country, so there's no personal income tax. So there's business advantages in that regard. And family advantages are that you can pass on the citizenship through descent, as well as include other family members in your application. So you can include sometimes your parents, sometimes your children. So those are some of the advantages.
Nice. Some people hear, there's no income tax. So how do they make any money? How does the government survive? So what are people taxed on in St. Kitts and and what aren't they? What are some notable
So
things?
If you have a local business in St. Kitts and Nevis, then you're subject to taxation. As well, the citizenship by investment and financial services industry, they as well have taxation, and there's VAT on services locally. So those are some of the ways that the government generates revenue.
When it comes to going through this process of applying for citizenship, just for people who are watching who might be thinking about it, maybe one day, one day I'll do that, just so they can have, a grasp of what it all takes. How long does the process usually take? And I know that there's this donation fund route, or there's also through purchasing property. Obviously, that will make that process longer. But yeah, what do you think is some expectations people should have?
So the expectations that people should have is that it takes a lot of hard work from both the attorney as well as the client, getting documents to be able to submit the application. So you've been through it. You can attest to the fact that there's lots of documents involved.
Yes.
And so there's the donation option, which right now they have a limited time offer for a family of 4 or less, starting at $150,000 US, plus due diligence fees and legal fees and other fees. And then there's also the option to invest in government-approved real estate, starting at $200,000 to be maintained for 7 years. Plus, there's a donation fee as well with that, $35,000 for the main applicant, $25,000 for the spouse donation. As well, there's a $400,000 real estate option, which you can maintain for 5 years plus other fees. So those are the different options: the real estate as well as the investment fund. And you did the investment fund.
Yeah, and that was me too. right, when you get going on the program, you sent me a list of, all the paperwork you needed. And I just remember going through the checklist like, okay. But then actually like obtaining that paperwork can be time consuming, just so you know. So just plan and try to be efficient. Get to know your local notary for sure. That will happen.
You'll need that.
Yeah.
It can take as little. We've had applicants be approved in 4 months, and some has taken much longer. It really depends at the time that the application is submitted as well, if all the documents in the file is complete or not. So it can take, on average, 6 months plus as well. So just be, just expect that to take some time.
Yeah, it could vary. So talking about, unplanned timing issues, how has this like quarantine situation, has that kind of like flooded you with new applicants, or have you seen a withdrawal, or how has that affected the number of clients that you're seeing?
So we've seen a real increase in clients. Nice. It's kind of overwhelming, but we've had a lot of new clients. So right now they're allowing online submissions. If you wanted to start the process of doing the due diligence, they require only a few of the documents to start doing a due diligence background check.
That's something that is usually like, right off the bat, if you have a record, chances are it's not going to go through. So I think that's something for people to know as well.
Yeah, so if you have a criminal record, they don't accept applicants that have a criminal record. It's really important that you disclose any sort of issue that you think might be a reason for why you won't be accepted as a citizen, and then the agent that you have can sort of do a little bit of a risk assessment, but ultimately it's up to the Citizenship by Investment Unit to approve all applicants.
And for sure, and having like you, someone who's there on the island, to go in person and talk to someone pretty much where they're at and what's going to be a red flag or not. So if you have something that you're like, oh, I don't know if that's going to be an issue, go ahead and tell it to your lawyer, to Jennifer, if you have hired her, and she can definitely give you a better rate of expectations for your success there. So you're getting this new influx of people coming in. What are they like? Where are they from? And are they into crypto? All that stuff.
So we're getting a lot of people from all around the world, like really all around the world. But recently we've seen a lot of U.S. applicants applying, as well as people that are in the crypto space that are interested in getting a second passport. So that's something that we're familiar with and that we're able to assist with.
Yeah, and you see people internationally as well. So it's not technically limited to U.S., but then when you're dealing with people outside the U.S., that could be also an indication of it might take a little bit longer just for assessing, things like translation or the types of documents and what they look like. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you have your citizenship, you got approved. Congratulations. You have this, and you want to go to St. Kitts, or maybe you're already in St. Kitts. What is it like to be in St. Kitts? What's it like there?
It's absolutely amazing. I love it. I've been living there since 2014. I've also lived in the Bahamas and Cayman Islands as well and traveled throughout, but I really love St. Kitts and Nevis for its tranquility, friendliness of the people, and just if you're someone that really likes, peace and to be in nature, it's the perfect place. There's lots of water activities. There's diving, snorkeling, kayaking, boating, you name it. There's, if you want to find something to keep yourself busy, you can. So.
Yeah, maybe if a boat drives by, there's surfing. So how long have you lived in St. Kitts? Has it been all at once, like you moved to St. Kitts to start this law firm, or were you there before, or how did that work?
So I moved there full time in 2014, and then in order to get more familiar with the country as well as to do the citizenship program. And then I realized I do want to come back and live in St. Kitts and Nevis in the long term. So I moved to the Bahamas to do a legal education certificate to become qualified as a lawyer in all of the Eastern Caribbean jurisdictions. So I did that qualification, and then I moved to the Cayman Islands for a year, and then decided I want to live in St. Kitts and Nevis. This is what I want to do. So that's when I started the firm, and I moved to St. Kitts and Nevis full time.
Nice. And so what's it like for you having somewhat international clients and, something as important as a citizenship program? What's it like for you as a lawyer dealing with that? I'm sure some people are stressful. They're always emailing you. How is, because in my experience, you're very responsive and it's like amazing. I kept thinking like, oh no, I have to send another email. Hey Jennifer, how's it going? But so yeah, what's it like for you? Do you enjoy your work? Basically?
Yeah, I really enjoy it, and I encourage everyone to, you know, feel free to contact me at any time. I'm happy to answer the questions. It actually facilitates the process if there's open communication with the client. And yeah, so I mean, sometimes if I wake up in the middle of the night, or if you need me at a certain time and you're in a different time zone, like I'm accommodating as much as I can.
So Jennifer is also buddies with someone who you guys might be very familiar with, and is also a famous Kittitian, not St. Kittsian. It is called Kittitian or Nevisian, depending on what island you're living on. Roger Ver. So did you work with him, or like how do you hang out with him, or yeah, what's Roger like?
I am not going to talk about him personally, but he's done the citizenship program. I think he did it around 2014, and he lives in St. Kitts, and he's there quite often. So yeah,
it's a success story.
It's a success story, and a lot of people are motivated in the crypto space. They hear about Roger's story, and then they're interested in doing the same and becoming a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, which they consider like a country that's more freer than most. So
yeah, that's been my experience as well, traveling with it. Honestly, the first time I used my passport was leaving the Bahamas. I flew to London, and I was so paranoid that clearly I didn't look like someone who was from originally from St. Kitts and Nevis. But you know, the guy was so friendly. The passport control, I don't know if that's talking about the London passport control or just that was my first introduction to using the passport, and it was great. I've since used it through Asia, through Europe, and absolutely no issues. If anything, people are like, it's like a novelty for them to see a St. Kitts passport. I know you've had that experience,
I've had that experience as well.
They almost want to take a selfie with you, like they know someone from St. Kitts or something. But yeah, totally friendly, especially if you're someone who's, you know, been a U.S. citizen all your life, and you've kind of been ingrained with this thing like, oh, the U.S. passport is like the end-all, be-all. There's other very well-respected passports to hold as well, and St. Kitts and Nevis, I think, is a really good option.
And right now, especially with U.S. citizens, they have restricted visa-free travel. So that's another motivation. And we're seeing a lot of, you know, younger applicants as well as older applicants that are interested in. Yeah,
they're limited to like 28 or so. How many countries can U.S. citizens go to now? Like,
I think it's around something around
very
28.
Limited.
Very limited.
So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So that's another benefit of holding multiple passports. Just because I've said this when I first did a video on, you know, my experience of getting a second passport back in 2018. Time has been just melting around me. But so when I did that video, you know, a lot of people, it's hard for people to kind of have forward thinking or like understand this like plan B attitude. Not everyone, but situations like this where it's, you know, definitely like a black swan event, you're going to be happy that you have a second option, a second passport that will help you travel. Because when you say things like, oh, you know, the U.S. passport lets me go to these countries, and then St. Kitts lets me go to there. For some people, understandably, that can be kind of like a luxury, like, oh, you have like a collection of passports to so you can travel all these places. But they're tools that allow you to live your life freely. And yeah, so the more the merrier, I think.
And how is your experience like? Because you ended up renouncing your U.S. citizenship.
That for me was still a great decision for me. I have not regretted it since the day it happened. In fact, I think I got my St. Kitts passport in the mail, and 2 weeks later, I was in the Bahamas renouncing. I have done a video talking all about that experience. I'll be linking it up above for you guys to check it out if you haven't yet. But yeah, freedom. And that was talking about leaving the Bahamas and going to London. That was the first time I was traveling on just St. Kitts passport, like no like backup of the U.S. passport. And so that's why I was like taking my first little baby steps and, you know,
testing
it
out.
The real free life, yeah. And it was great. And ever since then, I'm just like, oh, where can I go to next? So yeah, it's been great. I'm really glad that, number one, St. Kitts has such an really attainable program compared to most, and the legitimacy of the program has been well established for like over 30 years, and it lets you travel to so many different countries. I think it's a legit option for you if you have the ability to do it.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to contact me to get more information, you can visit our website at jhmarlin.com or send me an email at jennifer@jhmarlin.com, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
I can attest to that. She's very helpful. Yeah, for sure. So thank you for taking the time for this interview.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I keep checking the waves back there. They're monster. Probably too big for us to get out there.
She's been showing me around Portugal, so it's she knows all the good spots.
Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in, and that's going to wrap it up for this video, but we'll be seeing you again very soon, so stay happy and healthy. See you later.